we've adopted so many words into our vocabulary, at times we're probably not even aware of what we're saying. Many times when we say we're talking about something private, we use the word personal. But that's kind of leading us into an oxymoron, because personal really isn't private, but everybody is assigned a legal persona at time of birth without consent. It just kind of happens to make the humanistic, legalistic construct of personhood. So therefore, when we talk about that word personal, we've got to be aware that that is the problem right there, that you've confused that because you are attaching what was of nature that came from God, which originally would, of course, have a name that would be related or attached to that very fact, and that would be your given name, which is a fact. That's a given. The surname and the state persona is different because that's assigned, and that is basically registered, of course, after the natural event has occurred. So it's assigned after birth, pretty much in the right sequence because it's after birth. It's not something that's in reality. So therefore, the definition of a surname that you'll find in Collins' dictionary defined that a surname was a name added to one's real name. So therefore, it's not real. And when you are acting in the non-reality, you'd automatically be acting in fiction. Therefore, when we have the faith to see with eyes to see and ears to hear, we see what is real while the rest of the legal collective cannot. Therefore, they're blind to the truth. Without a legal surname, you wouldn't exist in legal, and therefore there'd be no personhood. So the only way anonymity could ever happen within a legal system would be to redact out what is the primary identifier on a document, which would be the legal state surname, because that's what marks someone primarily in the tracking system for what we call legal personhood. So just picture a birth document like this one that was issued in Ontario, Canada. They underlined the error under the surname because it is the error, because it's not in truth. It's not factual and it's not guaranteed. You're the only one that could guarantee it by acting on it. So when we look at a redaction of that, even though it's underlined in error, they wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have erased it because they're running a legal system and it operates in error according to Scripture in Peter. All those who live in error. If you're using that name, you're living in error because you're living in legal, which would deny the event of Christ's death, which canceled out all legal charges and indebtedness according to Colossians 2:13-15. Quite interesting. You can go on Bible Hub and you can see all the different translations and how that has been articulated regarding Christ's cancellation of sin and debt. So therefore, when we look at free grace being opposite to legal, we can understand that when we operate in legal, or we act by consent in legal persona, we are actually consenting to actually renounce the blood sacrifice of Christ, which canceled out all legalism. But in a legalism make-believe construct of uncovenanted nations, of those who do not know the true God, we can see why Samuel Johnson defined a gentilitius, Gentile or surname, as one of an uncovenanted nation, one who knows not the true God, because it identifies the nations who are not in covenant with God, who have not accepted free grace. Therefore, they seem to operate in what it looks to be the fictitious impossible. But in the world of fiction, anything seems to be possible, as we've seen societies progressing towards doom in all its immoral directions and abominations. So it's interesting. We've taken a little brief look here. Again, we always say that if you are interested in learning more, you should go to the Christian Remedy and Law.org site and go through at least the first 4 seminars that were about who are you. Go through that, and if you can get through that, then you're ready to probably go to the next level of due diligence and research. And then we would certainly at that point invite you onto some of the Zooms we have. And therefore, hopefully, with time, patience, prayer, you will know who you are.